Hello YouTube. I've got a 2011 Ford Escape and I've been having a problem. A family member of mine said that there's water on the floorboard and the sunroof is leaking. So I think there's other people with this difficulty. Maybe I can help somebody out, particularly on the driver's side. The floorboard is very wet after it rains. This is a 2011. It's got a 6-cylinder. It's a good car. It only has 66,000 miles on it. Transmission motor are good. It's the vehicle's history. An older couple parked it about 2 miles from a Florida beach. So there is salt involved with this. And they parked it under a tree, and that's part of the problem. There's going to be a lot of leaves and vegetation issues. Now these Ford Escapes, from looking at a parts list, they've got some drain holes in the pan up here. And there's 4. There's one in each corner. And I think the front ones are the most likely to have the difficulty. But this one has really been wet. And there is a lot of rust here. We're going to see if I have to repair some of that. The seal here, the rubber seal on the sunroof, is getting older. We're going to try to rejuvenate that with some Ballistol. Ballistol is a wonderful product. You all know that. It's great to breathe that stuff in. I've already reproduced, but I don't recommend breathing it in before you've had children. The Germans made some heavy-duty stuff. It says it's non-toxic, but I'm not sure I believe that. In any event, these plugs here, these holes here they were clogged. And from reviewing the parts list, there's tubes that run down the pillars. And the 2 in the front are the issues that I'm really focusing in on. I used a scientific method that you may be able to use too. I'm not a professional mechanic, but I do consider myself an expert. And this is my scientific method. I jammed it down there and got a rough estimate of when it stopped. It probably, the tube only runs down to somewhere in this level. And I've taken off the cowling down here after testing, pouring water in there. The other side was worse. This is the passenger side. And right here is where the water's going to come out of. And the other side was plugged up, and there's a lot of vegetation back up in there. Now how it gets there, I think it comes down from perhaps inside the hood. You can see this. I haven't cleaned this out yet. This on the other side was stacked up probably quite a bit higher. So I'm going to clean that out, and with a vacuum, maybe some of my compressed air, blow it all out and clean that out. And I think that'll take care of the plugged up hole. So you've got to take off some of the fasteners, but I think this is where the issue is. And we'll see if we have to do too much body work, painting or whatever up here. These sunroofs are not really made to be completely watertight, especially after they rust. But there is this tray here that's handling some amount of water. So I think we can get it draining. We may be able to milk this old car along. This is some older folks and their grandchildren want this for a college car. So it's not clear whether we'll sell it or not. Leaks in the sunroof can be terrible, but these are college kids. I have not yet gotten a call from Brandon to pay for these college kids, but I'm expecting that any day now. But in case it doesn't happen, we're going to try to maybe let them drive this vehicle. I will update you after I clean out that thing. We'll do a water test. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, the professor is back. Time lapse has allowed me to clean out the vegetation. Now, one other thing I wanted to mention, there's a lot of vegetation in that wheel well below the cowling. I also cleaned out the air filter, or the cabin filter area, which is right here. And you gotta take off some of the fasteners here. And this was also quite packed with vegetation. So let's give it a water test and see what we can come up with. If this works, I'm going to button it all back up, and if you don't see another video after this, then this was a successful solving of the problem. So when I button this one up, if you don't see me with another clip, you'll know it was successful, and I hope it helps somebody. A little bit of a water test here is draining there. We have water coming out here, which is a good sign. And it's coming out right there. I think where those rust stains were, it had backed all the way up to one of the other upper holes back there. I think that's how much vegetation there was. But it should normally, I think, drip out. There's a small little hole between those two pieces of metal right where the rust stain stops, and that's where it's supposed to drain from. There's just some fasteners in here. I'm gonna have to button that up, but it shouldn't give anybody who's also an expert like me, who's gone to UT, as I'm sure you all have. Anyway, good luck. Hope to solve someone's problem.